Hey, if you're a fan of KISS, this video is for you. So a couple weeks ago, we put out a video talking about the thing that's going to be happening in Vegas.
Yeah,
with
KISS Army storms Vegas.
And so we just thought we'd just do a quick follow-up and talk about because they made a couple of announcements.
Yes.
And want to talk about what is going to be happening.
It was pretty vague in the beginning.
Yeah, it was. So it basically celebrating 50 years of KISS Army. KISS Army storms Vegas. And this is all on KissArmyStormsVegas.com. So this is Las Vegas, 14th to 16th of November. And here's what the announcements they've made.
Yeah, Gene
Simmons and Paul Stanley will be joined by longtime KISS lead guitarist Tommy Thayer for an Unmasked electric show.
Right, so they've kind of expanded, because there was a lot of like, okay, because they said they were going to do an Unmasked show, and it was announced that Bruce was going to be there. Yeah, like, so was Bruce playing? Who's playing? Like, we even kind of debated that a little bit. Like, who would you want playing? I would want Bruce playing.
Yeah.
You know, but Bruce is going to be there, but he's not going to be playing in the live. Dude, what the hell?
And it says electric, but they don't list a drummer. And maybe would they have an electric show without drums? Acoustic without drums makes sense, but I don't know. So anyway, they don't say anything about that.
I'm sure that'll come out in another announcement.
Then this one is really interesting. Q&As with members of KISS and Doc McGhee.
Yeah,
that's the part I'd be interested in, is listening to Doc McGhee. I mean, because that guy's got stories. Because he wasn't just with KISS.
No.
He worked with a lot of these groups, and he'd be a fascinating guy to listen to.
Yeah, just KISS-centric.
Yeah.
I'm sure this is going to, he's not going to be talking about.
But he's an interesting, I don't know, who knows, man? Ask him the right question. He'd be really interesting to listen to.
I mean, it would be interesting on its own, but in light of the KISS Army, like, why do you want to hear what the manager has to say? Maybe, because he wasn't their manager back in the day.
Look, the reason I say things like this is because there's so many people that we've listened to them answer questions over and over and over and over again. And it's like, how many times have we listened to Doc McGhee answer questions? How many interviews have I seen with Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons? 1,000?
Yeah.
Doc McGhee, though? Like, you know what? This would be interesting to listen to what this guy had to say. That's why I say stuff like that. Okay, so let's see here. Special guest performances including Bruce Kulick. That's kind of cool.
Which would be cool, but again, I'm going to say he should be on stage with Gene and Paul. Why isn't he on there? Like, you know what? The more I see Bruce talking, he's got a really great social media presence going on right now. He has got to be one of the nicest rock and roll people out there, and he loves Gene and Paul. And if they're like, "Hey, we want you to be at the KISS Army thing, and you're going to be on the side stage," he's probably like, "Okay, thanks, guys. I really appreciate you including me." Like,
you're exactly
so nice.
right.
So nice.
You're exactly right. Yeah, I at the time when Bruce Kulick joined the band, I was like, meh, whatever. You know, it was just whatever. It was another guitar player. Over the years,
I've really
as you
grown
go,
to like him.
This dude's cool. I can see why he ended up in that band. He was easy to get along with, and it was like when they had just come out of nothing but drama for years and years and years, and they get this guy that comes in and says, "Hey, what do you want me to do?" You know, and then just.
But I do feel he's given him kind of almost an anchor of kind of like a solid, "Hey, I'm here. Just tell me what you want me to do." You know, and think about how many years he was with him all the way up until
he was with him longer than Ace was.
Yeah. But Carnival of Souls, which, by the way, Carnival of Souls is a great album, and because of the reunion, that got kind of hosed. And Bruce actually talks a little bit about that, because all of a sudden, because they did Unmasked. I don't know, not to get too much on a tangent, but anyway, I'm glad to see Bruce is there.
Yeah,
and
that's really cool. It'd be cool to meet him.
Yeah, the also announced part I think is really pretty cool, because it made me think of you and why we should cover it, because, well, we know who Sebastian Bach is.
So Sebastian Bach. Hang on just a second, this will be really quick. With hundreds of videos on our channel now, we've made playlists to make it easy for you to find whatever the thing is that you're interested in. We have a playlist with all of our Rush videos, KISS, Led Zeppelin, Van Halen. We have categories like 80s metal and even our popular magazine flip-throughs, where we go through page by page with Circus Magazine, Hit Parader, and others, all in 4K resolution. You'll find it all organized and ready to explore. Just click the playlist tab on our channel's homepage. All right, back to the video.
Lead singer from Skid Row. He's done a bunch of solo stuff, and mega huge KISS fan.
Yeah.
Kiss fan, like huge. Which I don't know why I just remember this, but I mean, I think Sebastian either had like a flood or a fire at his house in New Jersey or something, and like a bunch of his memorabilia got like either destroyed or burnt up, or So and I remember like he was like, "Yeah, my house burnt down or whatever happened," and he was like, "Sucky part is," he was, Sebastian is just cool.
He's funny,
and he's funny, and
he's got that bigger than life personality.
Oh man, he's great. I think it's going to be great to see him there, or that he's actually participating. Because why not? I'm sure he's part of Kiss Army.
Oh, totally. He's like a lot of all these other people, just big fans of Kiss, and was influenced by them early on. But then the next one, which is one that it interests me greatly, is Black and Blue.
For sure.
I was a huge fan. Of course, that's where Tommy Thayer came from.
Right.
So I'm imagining if Black and Blue's playing, it's going to be Tommy Thayer, because that was kind of his band. Him and Jamie St. James.
You would think. Are they? I mean, they're guests, but it doesn't say they're going to be playing. But they probably will play a few numbers.
I would hope. I mean, why else would you have Black and Blue there? What would be the point if they're just showing up to like, hey, we're Black and Blue.
Maybe that was kind of what Tommy Thayer's like. Hey guys, I'll go up on stage with you, but do me a favor. I get some royalties from this Black and Blue band that's playing. Let's get them kind of some street cred. Let's bring them back. I mean, maybe there was some maybe that. And I love the next two. That's kind of cool.
So then we have Mr. Speed, and I pulled up. So I happen to follow Mr. Speed on, it's either, I think it's Facebook or whatever, but they pop up stuff all the time, and they're really good.
Yeah.
I mean, they nail it. So it just says Mr. Speed, proclamation, and what got me down, let's see, celebrating 30 years as a tribute to KISS, but down here at the bottom where it says, with the utmost respect, we thank KISS for creating something that gave us a purpose as individuals and for allowing us to share it with others as a KISS tribute band.
Yeah.
And in some small way acknowledging that our imitation is meant from the heart and that we're honored to stand in their shadow. And anyway, they're a really spectacular, solid.
Yeah.
They do a really, really good job.
And that's
as a tribute band.
How cool is it that a tribute band is going to be performing in front of the KISS Army? That's pretty cool. And I'm not saying Gene and Paul are going to be standing in the audience watching them. They probably have seen them.
I would, though.
But,
I mean, just because obviously, because everybody be like, this is as close as we're going to get to at this point.
Right.
And then the other one was Kiss Nation, the Kiss tribute show, who I'd never heard of, but I looked him up here, and let's see here. Let's see. Kiss Nation is one of the world's most renowned Kiss tribute bands, born and bred in the same New York City streets as Kiss. Kiss Nation has been on the tribute scene for over 15 years and shares the same fiery passion to put on the greatest rock and roll show possible.
That's cool.
So anyway, we're gonna have
you're gonna have two tribute bands,
couple of cool tribute bands
in full makeup.
Yeah, and then we have that would be cool.
So let me ask you this: would you be? I mean, it goes kind of almost without saying is you're gonna have two tribute bands playing, both in makeup. I mean, the Kiss Army is gonna be out there going, Kiss Nation, or Mr. Speed.
Oh yeah. That's right.
I mean, is it a competition? A little bit,
You'll
maybe.
feel it.
I mean, I think these guys are going to bring their A game for sure. If I know another tribute band's playing, I'm bringing my A game.
How do we out tribute the other tributers?
And
tributers.
I think the other part is kind of cool. The Kiss Army founders.
Yeah. Bill Starkey and
50 years later. I mean, who would have thought, right?
Yeah, no kidding. And this is activities, panels, and much more. But anyway, those are the announcements. We thought it'd be just, since we'd made a video about this before, we just pulled this up and just talk about that really quickly. Just share if you hadn't heard these things.
Yeah, and are you planning on going?
Yeah.
I mean, the tickets aren't cheap. If you scroll down, I mean, you can see what the ticket packages. And what I'm fascinated is the two most expensive ticket packages sold out.
Already gone. So signature experience package, $1,099 a person. Yeah, and then $1,269, and then $2,659. So, and then $4,909. That's the get everything from. That's really kind of amazing, and it's sold out.
Yeah, no, and I mean, we've been talking about we might drop some coin and meet you out there. I mean, it's
because it's
a
not
commitment.
Far.
It's not far.
It's not far from here.
So it'll be pretty cool. I'm kind of excited that this is happening for just celebrating I mean, not a lot of fan bases can say they've been around 50 years. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
An organized fan base. I think it's really cool that it's happening.
And there are a lot of, get on Facebook and you'll find, I mean, I'm a member of several fan groups. How many of those fan groups, though, can not only have a big thing in Vegas, but have packages as high as $5,000 and still sell them out?
Yeah.
That's the part you go, dude, the legacy that these guys created. I mean, we bash on KISS a lot just because it's fun and it's part of the story.
Well, they had part of their moments where they weren't on top of their game, and that's okay.
Man,
what makes them great.
What they did.
They bounced back.
What they did.
Like a street fighter.
That's right.
Down on the canvas in the 80s.
But
wearing my neon, putting out Crazy Nights.
Yeah, that's
Hot in the Shade.
Right. Hot in the Shade.
Asylum.
You bought me a Hot in the Shade t-shirt. You remember that?
I do remember.
I have it upstairs in my
awesome.
concert t-shirts. The one you bought me.
Thanks.
Yeah, you were nice. That was a nice.
That was a nice.
Because I didn't see him on
gesture.
that tour, and you bought one for me.
That's
that was
nice.
very nice of you.
Well, thanks for remembering.
But you know what's cool? But just as a side note, that I don't know that we always appreciate these things. When somebody creates something so amazing, like Mount Rushmore, for example, do what you want to, you know, people's lands and whatever. That here we were, and they created a piece of art that has literally created an entire ecosystem.
Yeah.
That one piece of art. There are people have made fortunes, have started businesses, have built hotels, all off of that one piece of art. And it's so cool to see things like KISS did the same thing. Look, they became rich, famous, all the other stuff, but they created this ecosystem that literally thousands and thousands of people have been able to have wonderful lives, to build economies around it, build their lifestyle, make money. I mean, so many things. And we don't always appreciate the fact that this art sometimes creates its own world, that all these other people, I didn't write the music. I wasn't part of the band. I didn't do it. But yet I'm able to do something peripheral to it.
Yeah,
and create.
Maybe I'm a T-shirt maker or a trinket maker or whatever, and I'm branding, making KISS stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
yes,
that
exactly.
Is, you know.
So these ecosystems that get created around these artists that create this one thing, and then and you just look at this. Look at how many people, because you get back to that band that said something about, what did they say? Because that's what got this for me. He says something like how they created something that we are. I can't remember.
I think it was Mr. Speed kind of.
But they just said that we're able to be a part of this thing, and I'm like, that's really says it, because
really
look at those
cool.
guys. They're able to
tour and make a living,
play their instruments, do all this stuff. Maybe you're right. They probably wrote their own songs when they were younger. They didn't go.
Our buddy Jess was saying that a lot of these bands won't be around. They aren't around. I mean, so the tribute bands are the next best thing.
Yeah.
It's part of that extra sphere of the KISS sphere extends beyond just the band. Yeah, there's so many peripheral things that have happened.
So I like to knock them, and we enjoy poking fun at some of this stuff. But when you look at the broader picture of the impact that they had on the world, not just with their music, not just with the influence from that stuff, it's all the fingers go out in so many directions.
I mean, you know one person that I didn't see on this list? Vinnie Vincent.
Ooh.
Why isn't Vinnie showing up?
I should have noticed that. That's a good point.
And, I mean, that might come out later. I don't see Ace or Peter showing up here. Ace, Peter, or
They probably have
Vinnie.
to buy tickets like everybody else.
Yeah.
You guys want to... Why haven't they been announced? Because they haven't bought their ticket yet.
That's messed up.
All right, hey.
Bring you up to speed.
Thanks for watching the video. Please follow the channel if you're not already following the channel. Hit that like button. And also, this is one of those where you got to leave your comment.
Yeah.
With so many different things to discuss.
So
and
much
think about
news.
in here. Yeah,
and I'm sure this isn't. I mean, November is a
this will
long
be a
way away.
moving target or a moving news cycle with these guys, which it kind of always is.
It makes me wonder, like, if they're already selling out, how big is the venue? How many tickets? How many things? Like, how many? If the whole KISS Army shows up, they have enough room for everybody?
Yeah, it's a good point. Is it a big enough place?
Big enough
They
place.
might have to move it to
Allegiant Stadium.
That's right.
Yeah, home of the Raiders. No, I'm not a Raiders fan.
That's right. Wow, okay.
Anyway, we'll see how things
Hey,
develops.
Thanks for watching the video. Follow the channel and have yourself a fantastic day.